Today we're going to do a quick demo of the Salesforce connector for SYSPRO, focusing on accounts in Salesforce and customers in SYSPRO. We're going to start off in Salesforce, and we're going to go in, and if you look at your sample accounts here in this particular instance of Salesforce, you'll recognize there's quite a few ones from the standard SYSPRO demo, but we're going to make a new one. So we're going to go in and we're going to have test customer. We'll make them a dollar currency, and we're going to put in a few basic details here. Calgary, Alberta. Canada. And we're going to put in a shipping address. We'll make that in the US. If I can type it correctly. Okay, now you'll notice there's a bunch of other details on the customer, including a lot of SYSPRO information, some of which, of course, is read-only. There's also things like branches, sales areas, customer classes, and so on, which we're not filling in. Typically, some or all of that information would not be done by Salesforce users, but we do need the system to put in valid default values that can then be maintained in SYSPRO. So I'm going to save this account, which is a prospect. So typically, they will start life as a prospect. You'll work on them in Salesforce, try to sell them something, and at some point in the process, either when they buy something or when they reach a point where you need to do a credit check and create an account or a customer record for them in SYSPRO, you will push them through to the selected ones through to SYSPRO. Now, we could do a trigger. We do a trigger. We could do the change of account type from prospect to customer. We could even have a checkbox that says send to SYSPRO. The trigger point can be whatever you want it to be. And Salesforce has a mechanism which will send an outbound message that's picked up by the integration and used to process that account and turn it into a customer in what we call near real time. So it's not instant, but it's pretty fast. So if we do in here, we'll do what we're going to do for our demo is we're just going to use the entry of an account number as the trigger to make it easy for our demo to send this through to SYSPRO. So we've given them an account number, we've saved them. In the background, Salesforce is sending that outbound message. We come in here into SYSPRO, and I talk long enough, we should be able to see. We scroll to the end of our list of customers. There's our test customer, test 9999, plus a few other practice ones that we did earlier. If I bring up test 9999, you'll see it has the address there. Billing address is in Calgary. Shipping address is in Los Angeles. Okay, let's say at that point, typically the maintenance or the ownership of that customer now resides with SYSPRO. SYSPRO is the master system because it has information like credit limits and credit status and branches and customer class and so on. So typically it's the system that then takes ownership of that customer record. However, we want to see changes that are made in SYSPRO. We want to see those come back to Salesforce. So if I go in here and let's take the sold to address and we'll change it to, we'll change it to a US address as well. Can't type. Angeles, and in the US, 0210, and we save that. Now, SYSPRO doesn't have quite the push mechanism that Salesforce has, so we check every few seconds for changes in SYSPRO that haven't been integrated to Salesforce and determine if an update is required. And then we update back. We pull up those changes, those customers or whatever that have changed, and we do an update back to Salesforce. So it's slightly slower because it's polling rather than pushing, but it's still almost real time. And we should see fairly quickly, there we go, address has changed to Red Arrow Drive for the billing as well as the shipping. Obviously, that's a trivial example, but other things like the terms code, the credit status, whatever we want to see in Salesforce, we can have an update from SYSPRO. That's the end of our quick demo. If you have any questions, there's our contact details. Please feel free to give us a call or drop us an email. And that concludes our quick customer and account Salesforce Connector for SYSPRO demo. Thank you.